Well, welcome to Top Dice. My name's Ade, and I've got with us Chris, one of our regulars, and also Alan, who is the guest today. Chris, over to you.
Hi. Yes, with us today is Alan. He's important. Well, to me anyway, because he is the main reason I started role playing. He is the person who introduced me to the wonderful delights and caused me to collect such things as you will see behind me and things that I will talk about endlessly. So yes, welcome, Alan. Welcome to
Thank
Top.
you.
Welcome
It's happy
indeed.
to be here.
Right. Well, I believe you've actually sort of got some games you want to talk about. We've asked you to prepare your top three games. So, shall we start with number one?
Yeah, well, I think if I do it sort of in reverse order, start with it and
Perfect.
go sort of work towards. But I went for what is actually the second role playing game I ever purchased. This beautiful thing
And that is
with
stunning.
the
Classic.
Judge Dredd role playing game, and obviously this is Games Workshop's D100, just work of art. It's just perfect. It's literally perfect. It
Absolutely.
does, everything you could possibly want it to be doing.
One of the
For
best character sheets ever published, I think.
yeah, and that's just the bike. But it's obviously just Dread. So and I think for me it tapped into that 80s feel of the
Very much
2000 AD
so.
comic, where you were dystopian lawmen going out dispensing law. It's funny how much time was spent, I think, by players doing it, looking through the legal system and working out what they could charge people with just walking around the streets. So no matter how much adventures I ever planned, it would go off the rails spectacularly quickly
Completely.
because people would just go, "Nah, we're not doing that. We're going to do this." So yes, that was very much my sort of second game. First game is one that, although I have a lot of love for it, doesn't make the top three. I think of games that I've would go back to with fondness. I mean, I
Well,
spent a lot of time
I've got many
on there.
happy memories of that one. Oh, Slaughter Margin with it as well.
Oh,
One of
so
my
it's literally all in there. The companion, the lot.
It's an
uh,
amazing
yeah, White
system.
Dwarf, the
Everything
magazines, White Dwarf.
works.
They were just the scenarios in there, the
Yeah.
hilarious, absolutely crazy stuff. Absolutely loved it. And the companion, I think, really added to it as well.
Well, this is it, and there was is it Judgment Day? I can't remember the name of the adventure now. I think there was Judgment Day as well,
Yeah,
which was like a published adventure that they did. I think there's four things that came out, main things for it, and of course the miniatures. I won't bore you with miniatures too
Oh no,
much.
please
I'll
do.
just I'll just flash the little box. But like it's one of those the miniatures, just because I think it was the old Les stuff. Now you got to pardon the painting because I never could paint.
Uh, they're the Games Workshop ones, aren't they?
Yeah, nice,
classic,
solid lead
chunky.
Oh
lead
yeah.
miniatures. You know what I mean? Stunner Horse is one of these beauties, but they were lovely. They were really good. And I think it's
Amazing.
just it all just went together so well. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It all went together so well, and it just you could play it as like a bit of a tabletop adventure, moving miniatures around. And I think that's why I loved it because it was the first. Because really, when I was playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and I was a Warhammer Fantasy Battle player prior to that, I wasn't using models. I was literally doing it pen and paper and pads and drawing little X's on a piece of paper, doing things that way. Never occurred to me that I could combine the two things,
yeah,
take models out of my army and use them on the table. Whereas with Judge Dredd, because the lead models were coming out as the game was coming out, the two things just gelled really well together, and it was just a labor of love, I think, on the part of Games Workshop. And I'm just a huge Judge Dredd fan. Do you know what I mean? It's
why
one of
not?
those.
Yeah,
It was just a perfect storm of time and place. And as I say, I was young, I was impressionable. I went in arcade sports in Southport, and there it was on the shelf, just talking to me. I was like, "Oh, I must have it." So I got in and got it, and the rest is just it was just beautiful, lovely
I don't
game,
suppose
so
you. I
good.
don't suppose how you can remember sort of what year you were. How old were you?
I think it's eight. I've honestly, I've agonised over this. I think it was 85. I think I got it shortly after it was published. It was sometime in 85. Because if I think about it, I was playing Warhammer Fantasy Battle, the first and second editions with my brother
yeah.
from about 6 or 7 years old. right? Which is about 41 years ago. And I think this would be about, I'm like 30 something years of role playing.
Yeah,
It
that
started with
about
Warhammer
right.
Fantasy Battle, for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which I sort of bought by accident.
And is that the original game that you bought?
Second edition.
That
The
as in that
oh,
Judge
this,
Dredd.
yes,
That's
that
the one that
is,
came off the
that
shelf.
is, yeah. There's a few bits that I've picked up. Like I've got the City Block box. That's long gone, but I've got like bags of counters and cards. And I won't lie, I've not used any of this stuff for like decades.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that since the last time you ran it. That's.
Do you know what I mean? Well, it's nice and safe up on the shelf, but like it's one of those. It just sort of sits there, and you know me, I'm protective of my babies. Oh, there you go.
That's the
one. There it is.
There's the Judgment Day bit. There is the City Block, because they released rules for the City Block, so you could actually generate your own, like literally roll up your own blocks to do.
I did.
Oh, yeah, so did I. Literally like loads of the stuff. And then of course, hang on, because I've just this will really make you sick.
Unpunched. That's amazing.
All sorted out. Yeah, you'd got the lead miniatures, so yeah,
I had the models,
so
of course, the original
Shuggy Hall,
the original battle map, the Shuggy Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Or the underpass.
Yes.
And like that, and I think that's what it was. That was the sort of first experience of doing that.
Wow.
Vaguely reminiscent of that. I don't know if you remember Shadowrun DMZ.
Yes, I do.
That's going back. That was a fabulous game. That was all little cardboard, little standees and things as well. And that was just wow. That was again quite an early game for me. That as well, and that was just.
I remember it well. Gosh, well that's an impressive number 3. So number 2, dare I ask?
Well, number 2. Now number 2 is a cheat, right? So what I'm actually currently running is Slay Second Edition. Yeah,
I knew you'd say that.
That's not the book. It holds a genuine piece of love in my heart. Is the hardback reprint of the original book. It is just so beautiful as books go. Just I don't know, and it's fond memories. You running around as corporate fixers, if you want to think of it like that. Hitman.
We wasted how many hours have we wasted playing that game? Well, not wasted.
So many. And the beauty of it is, I think, is as a system, I love the simplicity of the first system. You know, everything has to add up to 11, add a number on, roll 2 dice, bosh, done. So straightforward, so easy to do. The second edition, I think, complicates it somewhat. But in a way that isn't detrimental to the game. I think it adds to it. The more I play of it, and I think we've done 3 sessions now. I've set myself a stupid thing. I'm writing adventures for every BPN that they gave you in the starter set, and in fact every BPN that they've given you at all. So I've got like about 90 pages of handwritten adventures currently, which I'm sort of working through with the boys from Freckleton. And it's just, I'm loving it. They seem to be enjoying it because they're letting me do more of it. So as they're doing it, I'll keep doing it. And I'm still writing the adventures. But I've now, off the back of reading that, I've read the Cannibal Sector book, which has been sitting on my shelf for like years, untouched. So I finally properly read it. And now I'm writing a load of Cannibal Sector adventures. So it's one of those. It's Slay Industries, the reprint of the original book, and I do have my original book down there with all pages intact. I was going to ask you.
Intact. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. You are one of the few people, I think, to have an intact copy.
Yeah, and do you know what it is, Chris? It's something. Just I think I treat books better than you.
That is true. I mean, I had, was it 2? You reminded me the other day. It was I had two. I went through 2 copies because that's how.
At least 2, because you definitely put one into like a Lever Arch file with like.
That's right.
That's what most people did. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, mine survived. I
Yeah,
don't know how. It's got like spine damage and that. It's like if you look at it, it's definitely cracking. It's what if I actually got it out and read it now, I bet your pages start falling out of it. It's not going to survive another touch. It's been sat on the shelf for 15 years. But I can't bring myself to part with it. It's just
why should you?
Of course not. No,
do you know what I mean? Which is why I bought that one, because I think this one, and it's a stunning hardback piece of just gorgeousness. And I like a good book. I nearly picked Vason as one of these because I love the book, because it's got like a cloth feel to it.
Yes,
it's a very tactile, beautiful paper. But I think this, just from a gaming point of view, I think there's definitely a theme to the games I run. I like a good bit of dystopia. I like a good bit of sci-fi. And definitely the sci-fi horror stuff, I've very, very, very fond place in my heart. And I own so many games that basically do the same thing, whether it's Mutant Chronicles, Obsidian, Slay, Death in Space. To name but a few.
As a player in your games, you do like to have your players suffer as well, and a lot of those games involve players suffering.
Yes.
So, be it through their own actions or the sort of the setting itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of mayhem and suffering runs through a lot of your games.
A good fear mechanic is there for a reason.
It is, very much so. And that brings us down, obviously, to number one then. Go on. What is it?
Do you know I agonize? Honestly, I swear to you, I agonize. You've both played this game with me. I ran it for you.
I think I know what it is.
And I then ran the same game as the first game I ran. I was at Freckleton Age when you put me in touch with them. When I sort of shifted groups. And all I'll say is that I got the first book on, I think I got it in eBay. I want to say it was eBay. Someone was selling it for $5, and I got the first book for $5, and then fell in love with it so much. I've literally tracked down every single thing you can get for this system. There's not many systems I can stand here and go, I have it all. As far as I'm aware, I have it all. Including one that is only available as a PDF that I've had to print my own little floppy copy of it. But number one, and it's because basically it combines two of my loves. One is Cthulhu and one is space science fiction. Is The Void.
Yes.
It just has to be.
Yes.
It's Be Still My Beating Heart. It's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's a really simple system. It's a great sort of setting. And I think if you lean heavily into the Cthulhu stuff, which they talk about all the way through, but never really sort of recognizably plunder Cthulhu monsters. But the idea is Cthulhu monsters. It's that sort of terror from beyond the stars kind of stuff. And it's just, it was just wonderful. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, from the back of that, I obviously, invested in the Spaceships book, the body horror supplement, which went down a tree, one adventure book, more monsters, player's guide for expanded character generation, more adventures, and then the last one that I couldn't get, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find it in print, was the Psychics book. So you can have psychic players, although I never
didn't realize you had that much out for that.
It took a bit of doing.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, in the backs of the books, they talk. There's like a coming soon little bit. Hang on, where is it? There's a coming soon, upcoming supplement section in the back of every book. There's a different thing.
Yeah.
And depending on which ones you look at, according to this, there's about 4 or 5 books that I haven't got. But according to their own website, don't exist.
Wow. So there's more.
But Wildfire Games, igniting imagination, that, as far as I can tell, don't do anything, and they certainly don't answer their emails. So if there's anyone out there from Wildfire Games, I adore your system. Send me some links. I want the stuff that you said you've printed and haven't. I love this game. I'll just hold it up once more, just because
reach out to them and bring them in.
Yeah, well, Joe, honestly, it's such a good system. I cannot tout it enough, and it is still sort of floating around out there in terms of you can get it on things like eBay and that. But Yeah, and I think there's some of them on Drive Through RPG. There's some of the supplements on there as well.
I think there's a few on there, but it's really good to see an indie publisher,
Oh,
an indie
I love
game
it. I
getting
absolutely
the love.
love it.
So
Well,
that's it.
because the temptation was to just basically stand there and just fanboy about Free League stuff, but I thought, well, I'm not going to do that because I
We
thought
can
I'm
do
going
that
to go for
another
something a bit
time.
different.
We can
Oh, I could
definitely do
probably
it
do
another
that on my
time.
own, to be
So
honest.
get the pair of you talking about that.
Yeah.
So one more question
Let's
then.
talk about that,
Okay,
Frank.
we've had the top three. So what are you going to be running next? Is it one of those or something different?
Well, as I say, I'm currently running Slay, and I'll be doing that for as long as they let me. But the next game I'm running, I'm like literally, what am I? I'm about 50 pages into the reading it. It's 50 odd pages into reading it, and it's your fault, Ade, actually. Flames of Freedom.
I wasn't
Yes.
expecting that. I am surprised at.
It's a horror game. At least it's sort of the way I'm thinking it in my mind is it's going to be. I quite like the American Civil War. It's not Civil War. War of Independence, just as a historical period. It's quite interesting. My family's huge fans of the Hamilton musical, so the plan that we've got is that we're going to run the characters of Hamilton as an adventuring group, battling evil as an excuse for if you can work a song lyric into your role playing, you get extra EP or something.
Oh God,
Yeah,
Abraham
throw a
Lincoln,
Benny at
Vampire
someone.
Hunter.
Oh, completely. It's going to be a little bit hammy, but I think the way I'm going to run it is a little bit like Sleepy Hollow, as in the Johnny Depp movie.
Fantastic.
Sort of that kind of tone, sort of a little bit tongue in cheek, but sort of leaning into the macabre sort of elements of it. I just like the idea of it, to be honest with you. When I looked when you were getting Red Aid, and I just thought, ooh, I still can't say the name of the powered by. Is it? I don't know.
Zweihander, yeah.
Zweihander, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're not the. I struggle with that, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those. Even though you've just said that to me, I'm going to get it wrong next time you say it to me. But it's one.
Doesn't matter. You say whatever way you want. It's
just. I like the idea of it. I like the book. There's just. You can tell I'm an English teacher. It's one of those. It's just. I like a good book. It's a lovely book. It's a nice. It's any book that I can knock a horse out with. I think that's a book I want.
That's a fantastic endorsement. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Oh well. Hopefully.
It could be written on the back of it. You know. You could knock. You can knock a horse out with this book. Go buy it. You know.
You're gonna have to sort of run or go back to the void and come back and run that for us sometime. Right. I'm going to wrap it up there for today. Look, thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for co-hosting this, and Alan. I hope you actually come back and join us again sometime for some more of this. You're welcome anytime, sir. So that's brilliant. So it's a goodbye from me. And it's a goodbye from them. Thank you very much. Remember,
see you soon.
Like, subscribe, comment. We're all here for you, and look for more Top Dice videos coming soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Just saying.